Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Soul Kink Therapy. My name is Emily Letts. I'm a therapeutic dominatrix based in Boulder, Colorado. And today we have on the show once again Miss Georgia Ritchie. Georgia is going to be talking to us about what it means to come out publicly, like publicly on the internet as a crossdresser, but also her career as a model and what it means to do that in a safe way without being taken advantage of. Good. Welcome, Georgia.
Hi.
Hi, honey. Okay, first, I just want everyone to know, can I just share what we were talking about in terms of your
Yeah,
family life?
absolutely.
Um, Georgia is squeezed in this interview today because in 48 hours, her wife is going to have a baby, like a full C-section baby. Is
Yep,
that right?
absolutely. Yeah, it's very exciting.
This is your second child?
Yeah, this is my second born child. It'll be our third altogether. So,
Whoa. First of all, just like, how do you feel about that?
very excited. I'm more excited to get the pregnancy aspect of it over with, right?
Oh,
Like I think
man.
my wife is so over all of it, and it's like when she is not feeling well, of course, I'm an empath, so I'm not feeling all that great.
Oh,
So,
man.
it's like
9 months is a long time.
very long time, and it's
Ugh.
like she's had 2 girls so far, and we're having a boy, and you can tell the difference just based on that little bit of extra testosterone in her body. She's just shorter to the fuse and then slightly hungrier
Whoa.
and just totally different hormone change.
That is so wild. Okay, wait. I know we have this whole topic we're gonna talk to you about, like, performative and, being on Instagram or whatever, but I actually have can I ask you a question about your family life a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm really curious. So you're having a boy, which is
Mhm.
so exciting. I'm really curious or have you had talks with your wife about approaching, like what it means to approach your gender exploration with him as a boy? Have you thought about that or had those talks?
I haven't had any real thoughts about it just yet because I know it's gonna be a while before he has any real
You got
understanding.
time. You got time.
Yeah, like, as I was getting ready, I was running up and upstairs and back because I'm currently in my basement. I have my own little Georgia room, right? So, I was running
Which is
upstairs to help.
adorable.
Yeah, to help with my toddler and, getting certain things I needed from upstairs and things, and every time I'd run into her, she's looking at me, she hears my voice, and she's like, "That's not my dad, but it sounds like my dad." And she'd just stare, right? So I already know that at some point the conversation's gonna have to come up and it'll be more along the lines of like, you are allowed to be who you want to be, and as long
Mm.
as it doesn't hurt anybody and doesn't hurt yourself. And I want them to feel comfortable doing whatever it is they want to do. I grew up playing sports and wanting to be, an NBA player. I Unfortunately for me, I only grew to 5'10", so that didn't really help me out. And then, of course, driving race cars and things. But, like and everybody's idea of kids is what they've always wanted for themselves in life. And there is
Mhm.
an aspect of me with that, but also at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't want that pressure from my parents, which they never gave me because my dad never played sports or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I kinda got to explore life myself and figure it out. And so I'm hoping to bring that, but also with this side, be able to bring more to, like, a very open concept of, these are just clothes. I'm just
Mm.
presenting in a way that I feel confident in myself and just overall whole, I would say.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I just love that, like, yes, the goal here is wholeness.
Mhm.
Whatever parts you wanna bring in, whatever gradient colors, like, as long as you have your rainbow that's yours and that feels like it fits in your skin, go forth.
Yeah,
That's so beautiful.
yeah.
What's your oldest? Is your oldest the
9.
toddler? Your oldest is
Yeah,
9. So is
yeah.
she totally aware of your cross-dressing and gender?
Yeah. Yeah, so oddly enough, before I really got in deep with my wife in our relationship, I'd been in multiple relationships with kids in them before, and I'd asked right away not to meet her because I was like, I get attached too easily. Well,
Yeah.
in time, she had seen, just hanging out with mom, seen a few of my TikToks roll up at the time, and it was like, I like her makeup. And so what the first time I actually met her, I did her makeup for her, like in her little um Anna dress that she was wearing. So she was very aware right away.
Oh, so right away, she was like, "Okay." And did
Yep.
she freak out about it? Did she have questions? Like, how did that
No,
go?
it was very normal, and it's always kinda been that way. Like, she'll giggle every now and again just because it's like, she'll see me with maybe without a wig, or, like, I'll be in the middle of makeup and everything will just look like a disaster. So, she's seen all of that, and, like, she's done TikToks with me in the past and stuff. She enjoys doing little things like that, so it's fun to be able to bring her into it.
That's so beautiful because I feel like so many people are like, I don't want to hurt my children. I don't want to disturb or confuse my children or make it harder for them than it has to be. And they use it, and most likely they use it just as an excuse because it's too scary for them to come out. But
Yeah.
I love the way that you're just like, no, you just normalize it off the bat and it's like not a problem.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm hoping as soon as, my, younger kids grow up that they realize that it's like, "Yeah, see, this is the way of the world." It's not gonna
This is
be
the way of the
everything.
world.
Yeah, it's not everything everyone says it's supposed to be, and
Mm.
because there's so many different gray areas that are in retrospect, they're not really gray, they're all different forms of colors, right?
Mm,
Like,
a
you might
gradient.
yeah, you
Mhm.
might be somebody who lives and your favorite color is blue, your whole in life is blue, and that's all you stay in. And then there's other people it's like, "Well, I like that color. I like blue and pink, so I'm gonna go over there too from time to time." And then it's
Mhm.
like, sometimes you hit different colors along the ways. I don't know what those are, but, you kind of fill in the blanks however you want through life.
Mm. I love that so much. I am so curious about if it will be a different experience raising a baby that's assigned male at birth, right? Because we don't know
Yeah.
what your your baby's not even born yet. It's so wild talking about your baby and
Yeah,
she's not even
I
it is
know.
not they are not even born yet.
Yeah, it's there are the thoughts of, like, at some point, and the hardest part, I feel like, is when they become teenagers and things like that.
Yeah.
That's my biggest worries, but, of course, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
But
'Cause
it's also like those years are a shit show no matter what you
right.
do.
Right, and it's like, no matter what kind of parent I am, it's like, it's not going to matter. Is you gotta hopefully raise them with enough confidence in themselves to be like, "You know what? Yeah, but that's not me, and I
Yeah.
love those people." So it's like, I just need to do the best I can to raise them in a home that loves them, so that wherever they go, it's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, okay, you don't like what my dad does, but what does that got to do with me?" You know?
Yeah. My heart just melts when you talk about this. It's so beautiful. Yeah, yeah. I am so curious. Like, is your little boy going to want to dress up? Is he going to try and make you know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like, oh, this is so fun. I would love to learn. I know it's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a ride, 'cause I mean, for the last 10 years, like, the majority of people I've hung out with are females, and then
Yeah.
that includes my little household at this point. I got a little tiny girl running around, I've got almost a preteen going on here, and then I'm gonna have a little boy, and that little boy is gonna be, like, the first male figure that I'm hanging out
Whoa.
with the majority
Ah!
of the time. So it's like trying to make sure that it's like, "Hey, like, here's what the world is going to expect of you, but you don't have
Mm,
to stay in that, and you're not
mm.
expected to stay there. You're
Oh,
allowed to do whatever it is that interests you. As long as it doesn't hurt you or anyone else, like, well, I'll help you get to wherever you wanna go. You're gonna have to work for
mm.
it regardless of what that is, but I'm happy to help you do that."
Wow. Mm. I get chills. I just imagine so many people listening to this who would have given anything for that type of respect and honoring of their own intuition from their parents. Because so many cross dressers are just right. Some of the reasons why they are cross dressers or um is because in their masculine identity, their masculine costume is so dehumanizing. It's
Mm,
so you know what I mean? It doesn't allow for the empathy, the softness, the humanity that comes that they've found within their feminine selves.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride, but I'm excited personally. I'm excited to see where this all goes, and hopefully, in due time that when it comes to these conversations, it's as easy as it was the first time and just being like, "Yeah, this is what I do." And it's like, "Okay, cool. You wanna
Yeah.
help me with makeup and stuff? You
Pass the
wanna do TikToks with
Cheerios.
me?" Yeah, like
That's so cute. I also wonder if it was easier because you introduced it so young to your children.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and 2, it's like I'm not bombarding them with it either, right? Like
Mm.
I want them to understand that it's like again, you have your own life, and it's like what I like to do doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to like to do. And
Yeah.
I feel like the best way is to not necessarily separate it. Like don't like all of a sudden hide from it. But it's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's up? If you wanna be interested in this, then you're more than welcome to join." But outside of that, it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and, like, make you watch me this whole
Yeah.
time, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. That's so beautiful. Ah, well, so many blessings on your fatherhood journey. What an exciting time.
Yeah.
And also the precipice of months and months of no sleep. Godspeed to you, friend.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on the sleep I will be missing in the future right
Yeah,
now,
I wish
right?
you could
So
bank it like that.
I
Okay,
know.
so let's switch gears, and I want to learn a little bit. I asked you at the beginning before we pushed record, like, what do you want to talk about today? And you were saying, like, the idea that a lot of cross dressers want to have a public persona because they want to be seen. Like, so many cross dressers want their stories and their selves to be seen, and also the witnessing, having an audience to perform for is so sexy and desiring. And then you also said like, and you have to learn how to be able to do it without being taken advantage of. And that was an interesting thing that I wasn't expecting you to say. So I'd love you to kind of open us up to this topic and what does that mean to you and how did it show up for you? Because you have been quite a public figure for a while.
Yeah, so I started online about probably 16 years ago, right? Like I started a little Facebook profile that no longer exists, right? And it was just to try to feel out the waters. For the longest time when I started all of this, I thought I was the only one. I thought I was a
Mm.
freak, right? I was young. 14 years ago, I was 21, online,
Wow.
and I'm like, I don't know anybody else like me, so I must be a weirdo, right? Like that's
Yeah.
how I looked at it at first. And then you get online and you realize that there's a lot of people like you,
Yeah.
but a lot of them are also hiding as well, and I was hiding at that point in time. It took a couple more years before I started getting out and about and, the whole everybody finding out through different channels of their own, but,
Mhm.
in talking to those people, it's like you have the excitement of this is where it kinda all starts. The first excitement is just talking to somebody like you, and those you're gonna have good ones, and you're gonna have bad ones. You're gonna have good ones who are like, "Hey, welcome to essentially the community." Like,
Yeah.
if I have anything of advice I can give you, somebody will try to talk to you. The bad ones will try to just get certain things out of you. Like, I mean, you can go into the explicit part of it, and they're just gonna want pictures from you depending on your age and all this other things. And it's
This is
you
online.
yeah, because of the
Okay.
sole fact that there's a lot of people they're hiding. They don't want people to know that this is their either their outlet or their kink, and because of that, they're
Yeah.
going to take advantage of you in that way because you don't know what they're looking for, and you just want community. So because
Yeah.
you just want a community, there's gonna be people that are gonna try to take advantage of you that way. So those are the first things that you're probably gonna run into. That's at least what I ran into.
Okay, so people who just wanna authentically connect and share stories and welcome to the
Mhm.
community, and then other people who want something from you in, like, a transactional nature.
Yeah.
And what are the ways that people could want like, are we talking, like, money, explicit photos that you're not consenting to, or
Most of them want, like, what I at least ran into, and I'm sure people that have been online for as long as I have probably run into, you have overly aggressive, either pretend cross-dressers who of course, steal photos from someone else, and then they
Hmm.
pretend to be someone else,
Huh.
and then they're just like, "I want this from you," and then it could be it could be just at start, "I just want you to message me every day." And it's like, "Okay, well, I'm part of this community. I wanna be part of whatever you're a part of because it seems like, it looks like that they're a part of all this other stuff." And you're like, "I wanna be a part of that, and this must be your
Huh.
way in."
Huh.
And then what ends up happening is they increase that. It's like, I want these photos from you. I want you to take a picture in this provocative pose. I want you to go out and buy this set of lingerie, take photos, and stuff like that, right? It's not normally a monetary thing, but it
Hmm.
does end up costing you money, and you're not getting anything from it other than somebody else getting their rocks off on you. And
Hmm.
those are one of the first things that well, at least the old internet used to run into. I don't know how it exactly is anymore, but I'm sure it still exists. If it existed then, it probably exists now.
So what I'm hearing is like when you first started, like I can't imagine the bravery that it took, right, to first like create a profile and put a picture out there. First of all, let's just walk through it little by little. Like, how did that? I mean, again, it was 14 years ago, but how? What was that process like for you to be like, okay, I'm
Scary.
gonna go public? But
It
what
was
was the
very
thing that
scary.
was driving it?
Uh, I wanted to be seen just like anybody else, right? Like you start
Yeah.
getting to a level of kind of doing it in private and taking your own photos and you're like, "Man, I look good." But then
Ah!
see, you want the validation from someone else to tell you that.
Yeah.
And of course, the problem you run into is you're going to chase probably the first few people that give you that validation.
Why are
Or
you chasing it? Because there's just, like, such a desperate it almost feels like there's, like, please like, desperation.
yeah, there is because it's like you want this side of you to feel like it's not just something that you're hiding. And then when
Mm.
somebody validates you by being like, "You're attractive," or whatever, you feel excited. It's just that everything inside of you wants more of that. And so then, of course, you might post another photo, and then you might post another photo, and then all of a sudden you have, like, a whole album of these photos, and you have a few people that are commenting, and they're all commenting nice things, depending on which side of the internet you end up on. Now, I was very lucky. I feel like everyone was very nice to me at first.
Mm.
I don't know what it's like for everybody, but that was my experience. But that
Hmm.
also came with its own caveat of the people that would constantly be commenting and stuff. You're like, "Oh, well, but this is really nice that you keep me in mind when I post something, because it's like the last
Yeah.
thing you want when you start is no one to like it, no one to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, 'cause there's a feeling of rejection.
Right. There's like
But
a feeling.
what's that like, what do you think the deeper down motivation is of in terms of, like, the difference in the feminine form versus just, like, in the masculine form? Like, 'cause as a man, like, you could put up pictures, like, you could look hot,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like, do all that, but there's something about the feminine form, it's like the showcase of it.
Yeah, I think part of it, of course, is sexual, right? So it's going to be it feels
Yeah, tell
erotic.
me.
It
Yeah, tell me
feels
about
like
that.
it feels like it's not something you're supposed to do. So then when somebody comments and tells you you look good at this thing you're not supposed to do,
Turns
feels
you
even
on.
it feels even more validating, and it raises something to a level that you've definitely not felt before, right? It's like
Ha.
imagine getting into something that you have always wanted to do, and then
Mhm.
somebody tells you, "Hey, you're really good at that." You get a
Mhm.
you get a higher high than you've ever had before, and that's essentially what happens at first.
But this also is like, I appreciate that placing, but this is specifically, like, the erotic self too, because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
guessing is, like, you're taking photos to feel erotic, and in that
Mhm.
session, you might even have a self-pleasure session, do you know what I mean? Like, it could be, like,
Yeah.
a whole process, and so when somebody's like, "Yes, give me more," it, like, fuels that internal erotic, eros alive self.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that what I'm
Yep.
understanding?
Yeah, I know from my own personal experience, it's like when things started to really start to take off and you had all these people at the time, Facebook, of course, you had people requesting your friends and stuff, and you're like when once you feel that validation and that high, you're chasing the
Yeah.
higher high, you want more people to see it. but then see you run the risk of someone there's that almost thrill and fear at the same time
Of
of
being
someone
exposed.
of being exposed by somebody and running into it and seeing it. So
Yeah.
that adds to that level. So the higher it goes and still no one knows, like, that thrill just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I just finished this amazing training, but they said to me, everything can either be associative or dissociative, which means that everything can either be like something that brings more richness and aliveness to your life, or it can be an escape. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yep.
Like everything, like even like heroin, right? Like could be
Yeah.
like somebody could be like, well, this is my medicine. This is how I connect to God. I use it very regulated. Like I'm very conscious about it, harm reduction. And then another one could be like, oh, this is destroying your life. Like literally anything. And so I'm curious in those moments, do you think that this was associative, which is like, was it bringing you closer to a deeper sense of self? Whether that's your erotic self or whether, how was it helping you to grow um, in some way, shape, or form? Or do you feel like, because there's a way that you describe it as it's a little addicting, and I'm just curious, or
Mhm.
do you think that it's a little bit of a dissociative, where it's like taking you out of your life or helping, maybe like escapism?
I feel like it depended on um, the nature of what you were looking for. Like, it was very associative, for me at least, when somebody would, like, comment on something, and it felt like it brought a whole sense of me because it's like I saw what I
Mm.
wanted to see, but then when somebody else sees it for
Mhm.
being attractive or being pretty or whatever, it's like there's a part of me that clearly I idolize women.
Mm.
The reason I started doing this is because it's like I'd see something and it's like I want to wear that. I want to look pretty. And it's
Mhm.
like they look pretty. I want to do that too. So that it
Mhm.
would fill that part. The
Mhm.
dissociative part was when it would become, I feel like, more erotic, right?
Hmm.
It would you would dissociate it because it's like you want to feel all of that, but then it's like there's a part of you that doesn't necessarily want to acknowledge it. You want to
Mm.
pretend that that part doesn't exist. You want
The
to
erotic
pretend like
part.
yeah, you wanna pretend like the erotic part doesn't exist, and why, especially early, is
Huh.
because you also feel like you're not supposed to be doing this,
Mm. And also, like, you're not supposed to have the erotic sense to it. Is
right?
that right?
It's not supposed to as as a man, you're not supposed to be turned on essentially by looking like a woman. You're supposed to be turned
Uh-huh.
on by women looking
Uh-huh.
attractive for you. Not you looking like a woman attractive to yourself,
Yeah.
right?
But if I'm understanding it right, it sounds like, though, it was, like, you doing this is sort of a reclaiming of your own erotic self, which is turned
Yeah,
on, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
be like and my guessing is that the photos were, like, sexy in some way, shape, or form, you looked
yeah,
good, and so it was a reclaiming of the erotic self, so then I feel like that it sounds like that would be associative. What I'm curious is, uh 'cause there's nothing wrong with the
no,
erotics, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So that still seems like it might be associative, like growing and exploring your erotic self. I'm just curious about, like, when it becomes like, who's validating me? Who's am I pretty today? Or how many does that make sense? Where it becomes like
yeah,
a number game and then it becomes outside of the truth of your own, um, storytelling and erotic growth. Does
yeah,
that make sense at all?
yeah, yeah. Because like you never really got, at least for me, I never really felt. You saw the comments and stuff, and they were really nice, but you kind of
Mm.
became dissociated to it because it's like, well, if you eventually got used to a certain number, you didn't
Right.
care about 3, you wanted
Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
and it didn't
That's
feel right.
exactly it.
And again, that's like that chasing that high. It just keeps bigger and it keeps getting bigger, and it's mainly because it's like you see these numbers, and you know how many people see you, and
Yeah.
the fun part in that aspect, right? When you
Yeah.
are in that mindset of this, I shouldn't be doing this. Someone's gonna eventually find out, but nobody's found
Yeah.
out yet, and look at how many people see me. It's
Yeah.
exciting in that aspect.
Yeah. Being witnessed. But it also seems it's like the gamification of self-worth.
It is.
That's when it gets a little dangerous.
It does because you are playing with a fire that you and the dissociative part is you tell yourself that, anybody could find me. But there's also a
Mhm.
part of you telling yourself, nobody's ever gonna find out. How could anybody ever find out? And that's how you kinda go about it, right? And that's how
Yeah.
I kinda went about it. It was like, well, nobody's ever
Mhm.
gonna find me.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when they did, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it reality set in real fast.
Right. Right. When the to be associative would be to allow it to, like, bring you the fortification that you need for the integrated self, for
Right.
to integrate this
And that's kind of
into your
yeah,
life.
that's kinda where I feel
Mhm.
now, right?
Right. It's curious, it's almost like I am wondering if there was a part of you back then who was just hoping to be found out so that painful integration could happen one way or another. It's
Right. Oh,
sort of like when people cheat, when
mm.
really it's like their way of ending the relationship because it's, like, so painful. The
Yeah, they
relationship
don't
is
wanna
not
do it.
serving them. Right, right. So I wonder if it's sort of like that too.
I think so, 'cause I was terrified of anyone knowing, but
Yeah.
then the thought of somebody finding out is like, well, this will make my life to a degree easier, 'cause then I don't have to
Yeah.
tell anyone and try to you don't wanna get their reaction face to face. You'd rather it
Mhm.
like, they'll do it over there, I'll find out about it later, I guess, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's the dissociative part of it.
Yep.
Whereas, like, now, like, take for example, there's a girl that started working at one of the stores that I service for my regular job,
Mhm.
and she was just mentioning, she's like, "I don't really have any, like, girlfriends or anything like that. I just moved to town here, whatever." And I was like, "Well, like, my little family loves new people. My wife always
Ah.
wants to make new friends and stuff like that. If you're super chill, like, I can give you that." And we started talking, and then, of course, I just led into, like, "Oh, this is also what I do." So, you don't have to feel like there's anything that's really out of bounds when it comes to, like, a conversation. Because I mean, I live in an oil field area where
Yeah.
men are very roughneck kind of people. So they're just like I said, like they probably live in a blue color and that's it. That's all they know. They don't even think about any other color other than their own.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, there's
And
probably a
then
red color. No.
yeah, probably red color.
Maybe you are making a little bit more sparkling purple, who knows?
I'm a little all over the place.
Yeah, 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 I love it. Um, that's so beautiful, right? Like that bringing it back into the grounded part of your life of like who how you actually want to live your life. That's so beautiful. Okay, so you put up the you put up the picture, it starts going well,
Mhm.
people start commenting, and then what happens?
And then you start trying to talk to people because it's like, wait, are these real people, right? Like you want that sense of community. So you start talking to anybody that's willing to
Belonging.
yeah,
You want a sense
anybody
of
that's willing to talk to you.
belonging.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there would be people that would message me and it's like, okay, cool. Like at that point in time, it's like, I'll talk to anybody because like, I don't know
Mm.
anything about anything outside of myself at this point.
You're just like, "Give me a
Um,
lifeline." Like, that's what
yeah,
it just feels like you, like, screaming for a lifeline.
yeah. And it's like anything, I feel like you have people that are very genuine and they're like, yeah, like, I'm a so and so, I'm a engineer or something from somewhere. And like, this is my life and this is what I like to
Mm.
do. And a lot of people don't know about it or nobody knows about it. And then you have the people that are very ingenuine and they just take advantage of that
Mm.
and they take advantage of your vulnerability to be open because it feels like you're very raw when you first start coming out to the open.
Mm.
You want to be accepted so much that anyone that like even gives you the slightest amount of attention, you're like, okay, cool. And then some people just push that in a direction that they want.
Mm. I'm
And
just
like,
honoring what a vulnerable experience.
oh, it
Like,
is.
what a vulnerable experience, but that's also part of the thrill. It's
Mhm.
just like it's like for so many men, it might be the first time they've ever really experienced vulnerability in their lives
Yeah.
is through this one channel, and vulnerability can and is so thrilling when you, like, allow it to be there. So
Yeah.
then did anything, like did was there a specific example or something that was really stood out to you of this experience of feeling this sort of creepy or, transactional vibe?
Uh, there was a few, and it was mostly, like, these people that would either pose as, like, cross-dressers or, like,
Hmm.
they would pose as men wanting to get into cross-dressing. So then they see a photo of me, and they're like, "Well, how do I do this?" and blah, 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 and, like, they'll take advantage of it one way or another. The people that act as though they wanna get into cross-dressing, they're like, "Well, how do I go about it?" It's like, "Well, I don't know, start by buying some clothes that fit,
Hmm.
buy a few makeup things to play with, stuff like that." And they would just keep going back to that. But then they'd be
Hmm.
like, "I want I want your attention." And when you don't give me attention, it's like, "Oh, I guess I'm weird." It's like,
Hmm.
I have a life too. So,
So already, like, the it starts to feel a little warped.
mhm. And
Is that right?
yeah, that's one way I feel like people take advantage of, especially, like, I've run into it more, and it's why partially I don't message everybody, because I
Mm.
run into so many people that are like, "How do I get started?" And it's like, I've gone down this road too many times, and I've been taken advantage so many times to actually
Wow.
actually give you any advice, because I what ends up being like a message, like me messaging them one time and thinking it's good, is them messaging me over and over and over, and then getting angry that I'm not messaging them back. And it's like,
Huh.
I have I live in my own life, and, like, you just
Yeah.
happen to come into my bubble, and it's like, I wanna help people, but at the same time, it's like, I also know my own boundaries at this point,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know if you're real or not, and I
Yeah.
don't know whether how far you're gonna take this. And some people are really nice, don't get me wrong, and
Yeah.
it's not fair to them, but it's the people that take advantage of it, and that's what I mean, is, like, the bigger you get is the more people that come at you like that. They either want, like, advice, or they want, like, how did you do this makeup thing? And it's like,
Mhm.
sometimes they get really upset with you when you're like, "I found it on YouTube. Here's the person I followed. Go watch their video." They get mad at you because 'cause you're not taking the time out of your day to do
Hmm.
all of that for them.
What I hear also is, like, you have like, this is it's funny because I don't message, like, most people back at all because it's like, I don't that's not how I wanna spend my time. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when the message really hits, like, I'll take the time to respond back, but it's like, the internet is a drain on my soul. I
Uh-huh.
work a lot in it, and it's also not like, I want person to person, I want real, genuine connections, I want long form media like this.
Yep.
So, like, little bits here and there that just it's like, this is not where my energy is. But it's interesting because it's like, because this was such a lifeline for you in the early stages, I really hear that empathy and compassion to wanting to be there for everyone who is genuine like you were, you know what I mean, at the beginning? Because
Mhm.
and so I can hear you and also you described yourself as an empath of like, "Oh, like, you want to be there for the tender souls who are starting this journey," and also it sounds like you've been that beautiful tender heart of yours has been like the internet has been a little too pokey of a place for you to just give so freely. Does that
Yeah.
sound right?
Yeah. And it's very unfortunate, because I'm sure, Um, if you were to ask, like, Penny, who's been on here before,
Oh, yeah, Penny
this
Rose.
yeah, the same question, I'm sure she'd say the exact same thing. I'm sure she gets
Yeah.
messages all the time from people that want advice, or they want tips or tricks on how to do this or that, and it's like, I would love to help you, but the problem runs into is, if I help you, then there's no saying how many times you're going to message me after that. Like, it's one thing if
Mm.
I help you and you're like, "Thanks, okay, I'm gonna go do that, bye." Right? It's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, cool." That 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 makes my life easier, because it's like, you're actually gonna go do it. Whereas a
Mhm.
lot of people, what they do is they ask for the advice. They don't go do the thing.
Mm.
They just keep messaging you, and they want
Hmm.
more advice, or they want more tips, or they want more tricks, and it's like,
Right,
you're
it's
not
the
even applying them.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had somebody describe, like, creepiness is just unowned desire.
Mhm.
So it's like they're asking for advice, but clearly there's a desire there that's just not owned. And so
Right.
it comes off as like, what is happening here? It's not actually authentic communication. So then so first of all, like, how have you fostered authentic, engagement, real connections through your online platform? Since that's what it feels like so many people want is like real community, real sense of belonging.
Right. I've
Or also, like, and let me just say this too, also, like, maybe, like, real supported erotic connections, like, that could be it too, but they want something real, not just transactional.
right. I feel like the way that I can kinda tell at this point is you're not coming to me for a thing right away, and you don't
Hmm.
mind if I don't respond right away. And it's not
Hmm.
like I'm testing you. It's more
Hmm.
along the lines of, like, I'm gonna get to you when I can, and if I can tell you want something from me right away, more than likely, I'm not gonna message you back.
Mm.
If your message starts with, "Hey," I'm probably not gonna message you back. 'Cause it's like, "Okay, well, I have no reason. I don't know where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
It
How
doesn't
much
make any
time do you
sense."
spend messaging people back? Because 'Cause I'm kind of surprised that you message anyone back as a dad with, like, a toddler, a preggo wife who's, like, about to pop, and, like, a nine-year-old. Part of me is like, how the fact that you even are messaging anyone back, I feel so in awe of you.
Well, at this point, I really don't. Like, it's
Yeah.
mostly people that I've had contact with for years, and most of
Mhm.
the messages I get is if somebody just responds to, like, a story, and they send, like, a
Sure.
response, and that's about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
"Hey, thanks." You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
I feel like but that's because they are understanding that it's like, "Yeah, I have a life outside of this."
So much life, like teeming with life, about
Yeah.
to create a new life. So if you if you were going to give advice to somebody, since again, so many cross dressers, like they just want to be seen. What would you suggest to somebody to start this process, but with integrity and in a way that's associative, that, like, is, I mean, gonna legitly part of their path of growth, of being like an art project, and really to avoid the pitfalls of disassociation.
I feel like if you're going to start down this road and to just be, like, authentic with yourself, it's
Mhm.
to do what like, if you have I had muses, right? Like, so I had
Mm.
certain women that it's like I wanted to emulate, and
Oh, so
it'd be
you had women, not other, like, cross-dressers.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't look at other cross-dressers as, for me, at least, um, a goal, right? For me, the goal
Yeah.
was, I wanna look like her.
Yeah, of course, of
That's
course, of
my
course.
yeah.
Of
So,
course.
I had my own little niche that I fell in love with, and I fell in love with, like, the pinup era of certain looks and certain
So good.
clothes and things. So, when I first started getting, like, really putting time into things, it's like, well, I want
Yeah.
my look to look like that, and that's where, like, the
Yeah.
makeup stuff comes in. It's like, I want my
Yeah.
makeup to look like that because it's very simplified. It's very to me, it was very erotic to a degree,
Mhm. Sexy,
right?
sensual.
Yep. And so it's like I wanna try to emulate that. So what I would suggest is if you're just getting started, kinda look at what you find attractive in, like, a woman's look, right? Like,
Mm.
whether it's her clothes, how she does her makeup, how she does her hair, um, how I don't know, I guess maybe how they carry themselves, things like that.
Mm.
If
I
you have a certain genre that you wanna aim towards, maybe aim towards that, but if it's just, like, your general, like, going out kinda girl who's going out on Saturday with her girlfriends, it's like, alright, well, then just aim at trying to fit into that genre
Uh-huh. So,
first. Don't
like,
don't
really
try to make it too broad.
really define yourself. I also I do a lot of costumes, and I'm a big fan of Pinterest
Mhm.
for finding inspirations and tutorials and everything like that. So, do you ever use Pinterest?
I used to a lot, and then it's
Yeah.
like it becomes such a time suck. It's
Yeah.
just
It becomes a little obsessive for sure, but maybe, when you're starting out, it's like a great way to start creating or organizing
yeah,
images
it
of, like,
is.
things that could be inspiring to you, like certain hairdos or certain genres. Like, do you wanna be in the 1920s? Do you wanna be in the 1960s? Do you wanna be, early 2000s girl? Do you
Mhm.
wanna be a matronly badass bitch, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, because like, if you find I know that a lot of cross-dressers have their own looks that they wanna do already, but then a lot of them get worried, that they're not gonna do it justice, I would say, or they're not gonna put the
Mm,
time in to actually do it how they want to see it, and so they get
yeah.
deterred from it. And it's like, that's why
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, you have to take it in steps. All of this comes in steps. Like, this didn't come from overnight. This all
Yeah.
came from trying to figure out exactly what it is I like personally and then
Yeah.
apply it to myself and what works.
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing is like really find your muses, find your
Mhm.
genre, find your muses. Okay, what's the next step?
Uh, then practice.
Mm,
I mean, you have like I mean, we're gonna eventually get into the makeup stuff at some point, but it's like for me, the makeup didn't come overnight either. It was you look at certain things, and it's funny because I can look back to even photos from last year and be like,
yeah.
I can fix that," or "I should have done this, I should have done that." So, looking 10 years back, 14 years back, I'm like, "What was I doing?" I know what I was doing personally, like, in my mind, but you're like, "Why? Why was I doing it that way?" Or, "Why didn't I take the time?" Because it's like
Yeah.
I wasted to me, there are parts of me that I'm like, I feel like I wasted a little bit of my youth not putting enough time in to try to do it correctly.
Huh. Wait, what does that mean, wasted your youth? Like, what does that mean?
Because I was so scared of anyone ever finding out, and
Oh.
I didn't take the time to, like, actually get good at any of it. It was just I
Mm.
would do it in the safety of my basement in the middle of the night, and it's like, I'm not really putting any time in to get better at this.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is like you were just doing it like you were doing it as an exploration, but like you weren't taking it seriously.
Right,
And
and then
you weren't growing in it because of such a shame that it's not even allowed to be here. It's
right,
almost like when you take something and you claim it, when you take ownership over it, all of a
yeah,
sudden you get to foster and nurture it and love it and allow it to grow, and therefore you invest in it and it like invests in you.
yeah.
Does that sound
So
right?
yeah, because
Mm.
I didn't take it seriously. I thought it was just something I did, and
Mhm.
eventually you start to look at I remember the one night I was just sitting there and I could see things that after doing it enough times, you're like, "I don't like how I'm doing that," but I don't know any
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
So that's when started looking at YouTube, and I'm like, "I wanna
Yeah.
learn how to actually do this part."
Huh.
And it's like, you just take the time to do just that. Just
Yeah.
take a night to just do whatever that process is for a night. You're not gonna do the whole get up, but it's
Uh-huh.
like practice that. And then
Uh-huh.
go to the next thing, and it's like, "Okay, well, I don't like how I did this, maybe I should do this a different way." And you look
Yep.
into that, and it's like you just slowly
You
start
build.
curating,
Yep.
and
You
that
build.
you find things that work for your face that aren't always gonna be what you see on YouTube, and it's like, whatever advice I've ever given anybody, it's don't look at, like, a list of makeup from somebody online and get
Mm.
scared by it because some people use only high brands or, like, high-end brands
Yeah.
or if you're scared to only use drugstore stuff, it's like there's always a way to find the look that you're looking for. You just gotta be
Yeah.
willing to, again, invest the time and what
Yeah.
works for you. But
Yeah.
you're never gonna find it until you start practicing.
Practicing and failing. Like
fail a
trial and
lot.
error, fails so much.
Yeah,
But I'm also hearing, I really think there's something powerful here about like, in order to be able to practice and fail, you have to accept that this is a part of your life. You
you
have to
do.
take ownership over it. Because if you don't, like, you kind of just get stuck in this like, it's a huge people who, and I've met people like this who it's a huge part of their life, but because they don't allow them permission themselves to it just it is it itself is almost like limp compared to what it can be for them
Yeah,
because it is such an important resource. This idea of like resourcing something that gives you nourishment and help and like is a safe, sensual place, and resource could be anything, right? But
mhm,
like this is such an important like yeah, like vitamin
yeah,
for the nutrients of the soil of life. So just
yeah,
like take ownership of it and like buy the makeup, try the things.
yeah. You definitely need to take everything that you learn from someone else
Mm,
and take it with knowing that no matter what you do, you're never gonna look like that person. You're never gonna look
mm,
like the picture that you're looking at because it's just
yeah.
not possible. We're all too different. But what
Yeah.
you can do is learn things that work for you. And if you are trying to do like a cosplay thing where you're trying to look like somebody else, that takes like a different level that I don't do because I just wanted to accentuate my own features. But to become an entirely different
Yes.
person, that's a whole nother level that I know exists, but it's just like not something I was interested in. And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was more interested in doing the look that it's like I would look like any random girl out, right? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to look like Ariana Grande when I go out.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome. I'm also curious, okay, this is a little, well, it's the same vein, but like your wigs are so beautiful. Like
Thank
they
you.
there's because I know, a lot of folks they buy you know what I mean? Part of it's just like the wig looks so off. Like
Mhm,
it doesn't look natural or real or something. So it's sort of like or it doesn't fit their face, or it's like too shiny so you can tell it's plastic, do you know what I mean? And so
mhm.
when they are trying to go for a full feminine look, what give me some advice on wigs because it feels like it's a really important part.
Yeah. So I would say that I probably have a small, like, hair fetish probably. I don't know, because I
Oh,
in a way that it's like, I really like big hair, I like curly hair, but I also I just like different hairstyles, I would say.
yeah.
And of course, I've tried every color under the sun. I used to stick to just red and brown,
Red, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it wasn't until I bought my first blonde wig, that I was like, "Okay, actually, like, let's try other stuff. Let's
The
play with
blonde
this."
looks amazing. But so do you buy synthetic? Do you buy give me some a little bit of wig
Yeah, so
wisdom.
all of the ones that I have currently, I have literally a wall right next to me,
Oh man, I bet it's
and
amazing.
it's I buy them all for the most part from their little, like, wig retailers online. I was very
Huh.
lucky. I think I mentioned in the last episode that I did that I, was a part of a makeup group that I got added to, and that's how I ended up blowing up online at one point in time
Huh.
with girls in my area because it was like, "Oh, wait, like, you're
Right.
really cool. Let's have a drink," all this other stuff. There was a girl in that group at the time who started a lash brand at the time,
Oh,
and she moved from North Dakota to California.
yeah.
And she's like, I would really like it if you like tried out my lashes and stuff. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I bought them myself,
Huh.
tried them on, really enjoyed them.
Huh.
And then she slowly started to get into wigs. And she nicest person ever, right? Like me and my little brother and my friends actually took a road trip to California. She's like, come stay with me. She was doing
Aw.
her she was doing her little wig shows in just a separate bedroom of her house at the time,
Huh.
and, like, I had a few that I had an eye on, but I was like, I don't know what quality they are or anything,
Yeah.
so she's like, "Here, just take these, try them out, do as you will." And, of course, like, I started promoting it, wherever I could because I really enjoyed them. They look real.
Huh.
And they're all lace front, right? So you'll get like a piece of lace, you'll cut it to like the hairline wherever. Those are the ones I would suggest looking into.
Yeah, okay, lace
Um,
front. Yeah, 'cause it
yep,
has a much more natural look. I think that's the
yeah,
thing is when it's not lace front, I think that's the thing that looks is like a little shocking of like it doesn't look, you know what I mean?
yeah. Like it's like a hard front. So
Yeah.
those are if you have like heavy bangs to cover that front, then they're fine. But like
Yeah.
when you're trying to wear a wig like this, it's like the the lace
Yeah.
is like yeah,
Yeah. It's
like
so
that.
natural looking. I mean, it
Yeah.
literally looks like your own hair.
Yeah, and so, like and my again, like, my thing was, like, I wanna look like a
Yeah.
natural girl going
Y
out anywhere I'm going.
yeah.
So, but I was very lucky in the sense that, like, I actually promoted her for a long time. Of course, once I got offline there for a little while, kinda fell out of everything, right? Like, I part
Mhm.
of it too was, like, this is just too much. Doing and
Yeah.
this is the part where I'll get into, like, being taken advantage of. Not that I was taken advantage of by her, right?
Yeah.
Um but I if you're looking for, like, wigs and things like that, I would look into these little small retailers for the most part. A lot of them have very nice stuff. You're gonna probably spend about $100 on a wig.
Mhm.
You just have to find a style you like, and that's
Hmm.
how I went. If I see one I like, I'm gonna try it, and sometimes it's not gonna work for you. You're gonna look
Mhm.
silly. You're gonna feel silly, and it's gonna be like, "Ah, that's not how I thought I was gonna look," and you're gonna but it's the trial and error thing. Sometimes you're gonna spend money on stuff that doesn't work for you, and that's
But it's
okay.
so what I'm hearing is but it sounds like my sense is a good wig is a really important investment.
Yeah, you definitely need to invest in all of mine except for one is synthetic. I do have a human hair wig.
Oh, cool. This is synthetic. Wow, it looks
Yeah, this is
amazing.
all the majority of them all the ones that I've worn are synthetic. The only one I
Cool.
have that's a human hair is when I went to England for my shoot that I did there.
Wow.
They do makeup and hair for you, and I was
Yeah.
my thought with synthetic, you can't really style it. It's already pre-styled. They're really hard
Mm.
to style. You have to use like steam and
Mhm.
all sorts of stuff. Whereas the human hair one, I got it because I was like, well, they're gonna be able to style it so many different ways for the shoot,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted. And it was don't get
Cool.
me it was one of the most, what is it? Fulfilling feelings when I was sitting in this chair and I was getting my makeup done, and I, like, look over and they also were giving me drinks at the same time, but I, like, look over the mirror, I had curlers in my hair, and I just, like, felt
Aw,
on a
like a
cloud.
princess.
Yeah,
Like a
and
movie star, that's so
yeah,
cool.
it was a feeling that honestly is it would be impossible to top at this point because
Wow.
that was like a dream for me to go do this shoot at this one studio, and I knew that that's
Wow.
what they provided. But it was like even before looking into it, like I followed their page forever. It was just a dream,
Yeah.
and then one day I was like, I'm eventually gonna go to England. I want to book a shoot. I gotta make sure that they're cool with working with a man, and of
Yeah.
course they were. They were like,
Of
yeah,
course, of course.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Um,
I just
but yeah.
I just wanna pause and just respect your, like, your mastery and artistry that you have put in, that this expression has fostered in you and that you've put like they say master is like 10,000 hours. It's like I can feel the 10,000 hours in you and how it not only adds to your life but adds to your family's life, adds to your like I can only imagine just like how like I don't know, there's like this sense of like this art is ripples into the benefits of you and all everyone who's around you. I don't know, there's, like, this holistic feeling of it because that's what good art does.
That's I mean, I I try to and I've said this, I think I said this in the last one too, but it's like I didn't when I started this, it was because I wanted to do this. It wasn't
Yeah,
because I knew I'd get attention from it, which
yeah,
is really hard nowadays to tell anymore because it's like there's so many people, and I mean, I ran into this when I was driving race cars and stuff too. It's like people go out there and they're doing it for the attention aspect of it, and then they either get burnt out or you can tell that they just lose whatever it is that they are doing in it.
yeah.
And it's like I've seen I've seen enough over the years, at least online, where it's like some people they seem like they're coming from a genuine place, but then at the same time, it's like they're trying to take advantage of anybody that's willing to raise them up.
Yeah, yeah. I this also really, because I think everyone online who uses like an online platform to storytell or for their business, which, because I have an online platform too, and I have definitely felt this where it is like how to maintain the purity of the storytelling
Mhm,
and maintain the purity of your intention and um your soul that you are sharing through it,
mhm,
because like you can feel like when you go to your platform, like when I look at your pictures, I feel your soul in it. Like I feel your artistry, I feel the love that you pour into this, and I it's just so beautiful. And I think that's the thing is like when you're starting out, I just feel like the process of doing ownership, I'm such a big fan of ritual and ceremony as a way to foster intention around anything, like anything that you care about. But so I don't know. I just wonder if it might be really powerful. Like if somebody wants to start sharing themselves publicly, whether that's through writing, it could be literotica, it could be, but it's like claiming like this is a part of my growth. Like let me write down what is my mission statement.
mhm,
Like what is my intention? What am I wanting to get out of this? And like
yeah,
actually doing a little bit of like writing exercise around this um could just help you something so you can go back to it as a pillar,
yeah,
and like, I'm woo woo. So like, I would want to put that on my altar and like light a
mhm,
candle and like do something formally so that I could, because I have an altar to my business,
mhm.
that I go and like listen to at times. But you know what I mean? Something to like really, so that you don't get lost.
Yeah, and you can get so lost in this so easily
You're
because
so
you
lost.
and like I said before, the when you realize it, it's like the bigger you get, like especially depending on how you want to build your platform. When I first started, of course, like I wanted people to see my photos, but like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't care at the time how big it got
Mm.
because it's like I wanted to feel like I was doing something important for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted that to I mainly just wanted to be able to be like, this is me. Like, this is crazy. I want to be able to look at it and be like, that's nuts. Right. Of course, at one point in time, I got lost in it, and you lose your
Mhm.
sense of self, and you lose the
Mhm.
sense of why you do the things that you do, rather than
Mhm.
just doing them because you love it or like you enjoy it or it's your escape or whatever, you know. So, and that's what I'm happy for at this point is like I'm more in tune with being able to be like I don't care how big my platform gets anymore. If
Mm.
if it stays where it is, that's fine. I wanted to
Mhm.
do this originally for me to show
Mhm.
that it's like I can do it. I'm doing it. I like putting out my photos because it's fun. I like
Mhm.
sharing my art because that to me
Mhm.
that's what it is. I like
Yeah.
doing different things. I'm not taking a picture of me standing in front of a mirror every photo, right? Like I like doing
Mhm.
different things. I want to go outside. I want to do a boudoir shoot. I want to do a pinup shoot. I want to do all the things.
It's such an expression of self.
Yeah.
Such a
And
beautiful expression of self,
I
yeah.
feel like some people get lost in the fact they go to what works for them and they do it because it's like, well, I can get this much attention from it. And then
Mm.
maybe a brand will pay attention to me, or because I do have a brand that's paying attention to me and they want me to do this, but it's like I really don't actually care
Mhm.
about this brand.
Mhm. So again, like, how do you ensure that it continues to stay associative for your life and not take you out and like the idea of like pink fog, you know what I mean? Of like
Yeah.
cross-dressing can be so inspiring and again like this nutrient for your life. And yet like it can swirl because there's such a like desperation for it
Mhm.
and euphoria in it.
I feel like if you are somebody that feels like you're, take for example, you get somebody that message you like a brand that you wouldn't normally want to work with or is whatever, but they're like offering you money or they're offering you free product. It's like really take a look at yourself and be like, is
Mm,
this what I want? Take a step back.
mhm,
Take a week. I don't care. Like I was off. I was not online for an entire year, and it was the biggest eye opener for myself, really,
mm,
to be just like, how many people actually even care that I'm gone,
mhm,
and how many of these brands actually care that I'm gone. I'm just a
mhm.
number to them, and I'm
Yeah.
reaching different corners of the internet for them. But it's like, what do I get from this? And that's one of those things that you have to if you go through it on your own, it's tough. But you also because you need a community. You need somebody that's willing to be like, hey, maybe don't do that. If you're starting to get stressed out about any of this, like you probably should stop doing that aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's like
That
it's
makes
not.
a lot of sense.
Don't let it be a stressor, especially when it was something that creates so much fun and a euphoric feeling for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let it become a business and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. It also just reminds me of, like, having other people in your life that you can, um this is actually I'm gonna segue here because then we're gonna start wrapping up, because this is also sort of the point of outrageously her, this cohort that
Mm,
I'm creating, of just like having a cohort of people, of trusted people who are going through the same things. Because I guarantee you, there's gonna be lots of talk in this cohort of like, I want to start an Instagram because like that's what so many people like want to experience,
mhm.
and I also want to plug that so again, like how to bring this into your integrated self and doing that with trusted community. My question is, when you were doing your Instagram stuff, did you have anyone who did you talk to about all this stuff? Because it's such a roller coaster.
I had at the like earlier parts, I had my best friend Lacey, who was a photographer, who
Mm.
actually was working for a boudoir studio at the time. Or I actually helped her get the job at the boudoir studio. I went
Mm.
did a boudoir shoot with said person, and then she had an opening. I helped her get a job. So anything that I
Ah.
needed, I was talking to her and being like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of this idea? What do you
Yeah.
like? Do you think this is really like a me thing?" And like she would cheer me on, and like she was the type of friend that was very. She's a ride or die friend, and those are great to an extent, but it's like when you really need something, like a real opinion, she would
Mm.
necessarily would just be on the side of like, well, if it's gonna make you happy tomorrow, then that's fine with me, right? Kind of deal. Like she was that kind of right. Like I'll kill anybody for you, but I also want you to be happy at the same time.
Uh,
I didn't really have anybody to steer me in a direction of being like, is this gonna
let's think
like
about
help
this.
you?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna be happy with this? Like, are you cool with this or whatever, like,
Eh,
and
wise counsel.
I found out, because like because she worked with the boudoir studio, I started becoming a model for them. And then this
Mhm.
is where I kind of wanted to get to with the being taken advantage of is I
Mm.
started modeling for them after they realized, I had a large following at the time
Yeah.
because of this makeup group in that area that I even did this boudoir studio. So they kind of looked at it as like, you're going to be able to get our photos out there and you'll promote us
Mhm.
and we'll help you out. So what they would do is like we started doing photo shoots and different like themes and stuff like that, and I would get 5 photos for free. The only
Uh-huh.
caveat was it was 2 hours away from me. I did
Whoa.
my own makeup. I would get my own wigs. I had my own lingerie,
Yeah.
and I would get 5 edited photos, which now I understand as a photographer would take me like an hour.
Uh-huh.
And they get all this exposure,
Yeah.
and I get almost nothing.
Yeah.
I don't get compensated for it. But I took I wanted it so bad because I felt like I was being accepted.
Mm.
And this of course wasn't on my friend because my friend had just started a job there. And it was
Mhm.
like, yeah, like this is cool. We kind of get to work together. But then it was like I I'm driving a lot. I'm not making any money. I'm just kinda giving them what they want,
Mhm.
and that's partially why I kinda got into my own photography, 'cause I wanted my own photos, but I got tired of being taken advantage of by somebody that's like, I get nothing, and mind you, at the same time, I had friends who, uh, genetic or biological females who would
Uh-huh.
drive from the western side of North Dakota to western Minnesota, which is about a 6-hour drive,
Uh-huh.
6, 8-hour drive. They would drive to me, I would show them a night out. They would have a photo shoot the next day, and then they would make all the money. I don't make anything for, like, literally getting people to go there. I get nothing.
Interesting. Interesting.
I would even do
Yeah.
makeup at times, and I'd
So
be like,
here yeah, I'm hearing the same theme of, like, you like, because you want it so much, especially, like, as a crossdresser, that, like, just like, you can lose sense of what is real. Like, you can just
mhm,
lose sense of, yeah, of what I like to call, like, or what I've heard of as a fair energy exchange. Which is like, what's the energy you're providing? What's the energy they're providing? So it's just like really staying rooted in yourself. Does that sound right?
yeah. Yeah, and
Mhm.
it sucked because it was like at first I felt so excited because I
Ah,
was like, I'm being looked at in this form as an actual female and being asked to promote a business that wants to use me almost as their cover model essentially.
mhm.
And I was like, this is as high as it goes, right? Like
So
this is
flattering.
crazy. But then it's like you start boiling it down and you're just like, I don't get anything from I get some photos, yeah, and I get to take some cool photos with other people, but I could probably do this on my own. And
Mm,
that's kind of where it kind of started to steer. And
that's
that's why I
wild.
started doing my own stuff because I was like, and mind you, I even asked my best friend who then ended up buying that business out for herself at the time. And I was like, what kind of camera do you use? And she told me exactly what camera she used. I was like, I'm gonna get my own. I'm gonna start doing my own photos. The only thing I'm
That's
gonna need help with,
amazing.
yeah, the only thing I'm gonna need help with is learning how to edit, and then we'll call it a day. And then, I mean, she taught me everything I needed to know, and then I kind of took it my own direction.
Huh. Do you do photo shoots? Do you like do photo shoots for other people now? Like
I haven't,
professionally?
I haven't done any like boudoir or anything like that, but I've
Mhm.
taken like senior photos. I've done some family photos. I did our own. I actually did our own little family photo for Christmas when we announced to the world that we were pregnant again. Um, I'll have
Ah!
to send it to you. It's pretty cute, but it's like one of those things where it's like we wanted a Christmas card, but it's like we don't want to pay somebody. I can do the photo, but it's really hard to take photos and try to get a baby to cooperate. But we were able to make it work perfectly, and it turned out exactly how we wanted it to. And it's like,
That's
all
so
right, this is
sweet.
awesome.
Yeah, another example of your ingenuity that has again has so much creativity. When you take ownership, you're like, "This is what I want. Like, this is important to me. I'm going to invest in that
Yeah,
myself." Ah,
yeah,
well, Georgia, again, I am just so in love with you and so inspired by you. The way that you parent, the way that you like are a husband, the way that you are a crossdresser and an artist. All of these things, I just think there's a reason why I wanted you back on the show, and it's because so we get so many feedback of how important the last episode was to people, and I have a feeling this exact response is going to get from this episode. So for everyone who's listening, I do want to let you know that Georgia is going to be a guest expert on the outrageously her. She's in week 8. We're going to have a makeover party where she's going to be doing live tutorial makeup tips and tricks for folks in the outrageously her cohort, which I'm so excited about. And we're gonna do like a little recorded how-to video. It's gonna be so much fun. Just spreading the joy everywhere. You're just so
absolutely.
wonderful. Is there anything like, yeah, do you want people to be able to find you on Instagram?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, at Miss Georgia Ritchie, there.
Hmm.
If you are watching this and you've been following me forever, of course, I was Miss Georgia Brooks. Got married, changed my name to out of respect for my wife because she had to take my name in her everyday life. So my, you know, female persona took her last name to keep that
Ah,
restored.
that's
I
so
also
beautiful.
I also wanna give her a giant shout out because I imagine that whenever this comes out, she's gonna probably squat down and listen to it. I just wanna give a giant shout out to my wife for making the time by taking care of the kids for me right now, being, almost about to pop, and giving me the space and time to be able to come on here and do this with you, Emily. So I just wanna give
Wow.
her a giant shout out. She is my superhero. Um,
What's her name?
her name is Tori.
Tori, everyone, a round of applause for Tori, the real superhero of the evening. Thank you so much. And again, I just see, I really feel how much the family makes space for you to be a whole person.
Yeah, I
Like
couldn't
you're
do it
not,
without him.
you're not just a father, you're not just a husband, you're a whole person, and the whole, and like you make space for everyone to be their whole person. It is, ugh. I'm just in love. I'm in love. All right. Well, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Miss Georgia Ritchie, and we will be in touch soon. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today.